Good evening, everyone. Today is May 27th, 2025. Welcome to the San Marino Unified School District Board of Education meeting. Here's our board president, C. Joseph Chang.
Right now it's 7:10 p.m. Let's call to order for tonight, May 27, 2025 board meeting. First of all, there's no report to update about the closed section. Six call to order. Mr. Song.
Present.
Mrs. Lam.
Here.
Mrs. Ryan.
Present.
Mrs. Gear.
Here.
Mr. Chen. Here. Ms. Ta.
Here.
6A, Pledge of Allegiance. I like to turn it over to the Assistant Superintendent, Dr. Lina Richter, to introduce our student who will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you, President Chang. Tonight it is our honor to welcome an outstanding San Marino High School Titan, Ms. Tammy Shin, to lead the Thank you for that applause. Well deserved. To Tammy Shin to lead the board in the salute to the flag, share a little bit about herself and her school. So Tammy, welcome and thank you for joining us this evening.
Hi, thank you for having me. My name is Tammy Shin. I'm a senior at San Marino High School. I'm happy to say that I will be attending UC Berkeley next year, and I will be studying political science, and hopefully I'm off to law school after that. My experience at San Marino has been pretty great. I think everyone knows that San Marino can be pretty rigorous, and that's hard to deal with sometimes, but ultimately that's what shaped me to push myself further and challenge myself academically and also in other aspects, like joining various programs in schools such as ASB or various clubs. And also San Marino made it very easy to find my own community in these programs and find my wonderful group of friends. So yeah, I would like to thank my family, my teachers, and my friends for allowing me to be up here. Thank you. Please stand. Face the flag, put your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated.
Tammy, thank you. Don't go away. Yeah. Here, then we're going to proceed with the certificates and take a photograph with you. Sorry, I'm getting stuck.
Okay.
So this certificate reads, "In sincere appreciation for leading the Board of Education in the Pledge of Allegiance at their regularly scheduled meeting held on May 27, 2025. You're welcome. Also, thank you so much for sharing your experiences as a student with us. And congratulations on attending UC Berkeley in the fall. We're very proud of you and all of your accomplishments. And so, can I get your picture? And with the board? And the next one. Thank you. Did you have a parent? Oh, I lost it. Okay, all right, no worries. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, 6B, approve of agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Any second? Who second?
Mrs. Lamb, me.
Okay.
Second.
Roll call, Mr. Song,
Aye.
Mrs. Lam,
Aye.
Mrs. Ryan,
Aye.
Mrs. Gear,
Aye.
Mr. Chen, I, Ms. Ta.
Aye.
Motion carried. 6C, approve of minutes. This time we have 2 minutes to approve. So let's start from the May 13, 2025. Can I have a motion?
Move to approve.
Any second?
Second.
Roll call, Mr. Song,
Aye.
Mrs. Lam,
Aye.
Mrs. Ryan,
Aye.
Mrs. Gear, Mr. Chen, I, and Ms. Ta.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next one is a special meeting minutes, May 13, 2025. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Any second?
Second.
Roll call, Mr. Song,
Aye.
Mrs. Lam,
Aye.
Mrs. Ryan,
Aye.
Mrs. Gear,
Aye.
Mr. Chen, I, and Ms. Ta.
Aye.
Motion carried. 7, San Marino Unified School District Spotlight. A, San Marino High School Math Team Recognition. I would like to turn it over to Principal Wall to introduce and recognize our SMHS Math Team.
And everyone to.
Thank you, President Chang, members of the board, Superintendent Delatorre. We have been very fortunate that we have teachers who are willing to work outside of the school day with our very talented students. And our math competition team is one of those, and they've had a very successful year this year. And as soon as they come through the door, I'm going to introduce their coach, and he's going to introduce the members of the team.
All right. Oh, I just. Justin.
All right, Mr. Buenaforte, Mr. Hollinger, can you come up to the microphone, please? These are two of our wonderful math teachers, Mr. Hollinger and Mr. Buenaforte, who's also our math department chair. And I'm going to turn it over to you guys to talk a little bit about the competition and introduce the students.
All right, hi, I'm Mr. Peñafuerte. This is my 12th year at San Marino, and it's also my 9th year with the team. Right, so we were here last year because we had our best season since the era that I took over, and this year's team actually topped that. And I'm going to bring our president up because he wrote a speech.
Okay, so hello, my name's Max Zhao, and I'm the president of the San Marino math team. Okay, so as this school year ends, our math team has emerged with numerous outstanding awards and first-time achievements, some of which I am sure you have heard about. However, I would like to remind everyone that these results did not appear out of thin air. In fact, the cabinet members, the members of the team, and the coaches all committed themselves to push the boundaries of what our math team has been able to accomplish this year. As a result, this year has necessitated great dedication and perseverance from all of our math team members. And I would like to take a moment to discuss these great results that the math team has achieved this year. So to start off, at the beginning of the year, we agreed to work harder and set our sights for a first place overall on the Bay Math League, which is a local math competition our math team attends. And previously, we had been quite close to first place, but it had always eluded us. So we were quite keen to finally achieve first place this year. So to do that, our cabinet members put in the effort to create better lessons on the topics in the competition and wrote more practice problems for our members to work on. We started to hold mock competitions before the actual Bay Math League and supercharged our performance with a supplement of tasty snacks provided by Mr. Hollinger. Our hard work did indeed pay off, as we were able to win a decisive first place victory at our first BML meet. But even as the competition from other schools got harder as they tried to adapt to our new tactics, we kept up our performance and maintained our lead, which I am happy to report earned us an overall first place at this year's Bay Math League competition. Now, outside of Bay Math League, we also continued our high rates of participation in other math contests, starting with the American Mathematics Competition, which serves as an entryway to a bunch of higher level math competitions. So continuing our outstanding performance, this year we had 4 qualifiers for the next level of math competition, which is the AMY, through their outstanding performance on the American Mathematics Competition. And these 4 qualifiers, which were myself, Evan, Leo, and Angela, somewhere there, they took an even harder exam this February that lasted for 3 hours. But the contestants were able to maintain their focus and walked away with high scores that have never been seen before at this school. And in fact, one of these contestants, Evan Lee, also had the unprecedented honor of qualifying for the prestigious USA Junior Math Olympiad, the next tier of mathematics competition. And he took a stunning 9-hour exam this March. Now, with his achievement of getting an honorable mention and other achievements throughout the year, it is safe to say that our math team remains highly competitive and will continue to improve. Now, in this regard, next year, we plan to further expand our contest preparation materials and lessons. Of course, we also plan to continue the other fun parts of math team, such as weekly meeting activities such as Jeopardy and fun brain teasers. And we also plan to hold more team dinners at amazing restaurants like the Boiling Point to celebrate our amazing accomplishments. But before we start planning for this year, I would also like to thank our members, our cabinet, and our 2 coaches for all the work they have put in to make this an unprecedented year for the math team. And with the coaches in particular, we also have a special gift for each of them as a congratulations for all their efforts in organizing, guiding, and handling the paperwork of the math team.
But it's an important decision. Which one do I finish?
Your fiance like?
But that's.
Thank you.
So I would like to thank everyone on the math team for all their efforts. And I am confident that we will carry this momentum forward into another great year.
Wow.
Wow, that is truly incredible. And thank you so much for that wonderful, eloquent speech. I have certificates for each of you, and I'm going to ask for a little bit of help from Mr. Hollinger and Mr. Penafuente. Help me say that. Penafuerte. Sorry, I always do this to him. I'm going to ask for their help in passing them out because I know who all of you are, but I would like to read it aloud so that you know what the certificate says before it's given to you. In recognition of an outstanding and successful competitive season, your dedication to academic excellence, problem solving, and teamwork exemplifies the highest standards of achievement. Your performance has brought pride and distinction to the San Marino High School and the San Marino Unified School District. We commend your hard work, perseverance, and excellence in mathematics competitions during the 2024-25 school year. Congratulations to each one of you. I can't imagine sitting for 9 hours taking a math test. You guys are incredible. And so thank you so much. We're going to go ahead and pass these out, and then we're going to ask for a photo. So here, I'll just split them up between the two of you, if you don't mind. Thank you. And his birthday. Thank you. You can pass them out. And it's going to be challenging to take this photo. We need a bigger boardroom, right? So I am wondering if we can get 2 rows with the tall people in the back and vertically challenged like myself in the front. Outside real quick. I think there would be more space up there to do that. And out to your left. And then if I'm hitting the board out here, please real quick.
Go math team. Woo woo. Go math. Awesome. Go math team. Get it. That's awesome. Go math team and coach. Good job, coach.
We'll be right
Okay,
back.
Clock, you go to.
Yeah, the board, 2, board. Okay, tell me. Yes. Well, I was on my small size there. Started like. Back here.
So I had a question about summer school hours that was posted on the flyers that went out.
We know who. See her email? Not sure. I didn't want you to think that. Let's follow last year's.
That was we got like see it in the church in their city. It was really cool.
You let her know, this is exactly what it was.
Yeah, I read that you guys like got like the choir thing was kind of impromptu and you guys like ended up singing at their bringing event.
Oh, shoot.
Like it like weird random stereos was really weird.
Okay, let's continue for tonight agenda. Okay, 7B, Superintendent's Student Advisory Council. I would like to turn it over to the Superintendent, Dr. Directori, to recognize our Superintendent Student Advisory Council.
Thank you so much, President Chang, members of the Board of Education Executive Team. The goal of the Superintendent Student Advisory Committee is to bring high school students together to share feedback, experiences, and viewpoints on a variety of issues taking place in our schools, throughout the district and within our community. Each meeting empowers our students and administrators to work together on how to best communicate with our student bodies and address topics that most impact students' day-to-day lives. The SMSSAC's ultimate mission is to help ensure equity, enhance the quality of public education, and support the well-being and achievements of all students in San Marino Unified School District. So before I call them all up to be honored this evening, as they've spent a considerable amount of time meeting with not only myself monthly, but also with my executive team and Dr. Wolf, the high school principal, and one of our wonderful board members, Vice President Gill. You know, it's just been an amazing experience working with these young, ambitious, intelligent, articulate students. They have really just impressed me so much. I can't begin to tell you. It has been an honor and a privilege working with them and soliciting their input this year. But I did want you to get a better sense of their experiences through their own voices, as one of the goals is to really elevate student voices district-wide. So I'm going to call them up and they will speak in the order that they have chosen. And I will start with Benjamin Miller. Me. Yeah. Leah. Chloe Ta, our wonderful board member. Emily Wu and Genevieve Fan. Okay.
I'd like to start off by first thanking both Dr. De La Torre and Mr. Kerr for creating this committee and selecting the students around me and myself to be a part of it. I'm sometimes known to be outspoken, opinionated, and what some may call simply stubborn. So when I first learned about this committee, I jumped at the opportunity to learn about how the district runs and to share my limited insight with someone who actually has the ability to effect change and the knowledge to ensure open and productive communication. The purpose of a school district is to adequately bolster the schools it represents and to ensure sufficient support for the teachers and students who constitute it. Because the school system is meant to serve the students, it is important that they have the ability to share their thoughts and have access to information that will allow them to craft educated opinions about the workings of the school district. This is why student voice is so important, and why a panel such as this is so vital to the proper functioning of the system. While certainly composed of ambitious students,
The Superintendent Student Advisory Committee represents a wide array of students who each bring a unique perspective to our meetings. Some may draw on their experiences in athletics to discuss their training and playing facilities. Others within VAPA programs may seek increased visibility in the way programs are funded, while other students may ask how they can best alert janitorial staff to the fact that they are out of necessities like soap and toilet paper. The point here is that these students represent any number of athletic, artistic, or academic programs, and each student comes to these meetings with the intention to learn and give perspective. The more or less well-rounded distribution ensures that Dr. De La Torre and her attentive cabinet have the ability to hear from students about real issues and to explain the nuances in a clear and concise manner. Statistics and studies have their place in the creation of policy, regulation, and advancement, but the inclusion of student voices ensures that the unexplainable factor of human nature will not be ignored. Throughout the year, this committee has also provided me with a perspective I had not been exposed to before. One particular issue that stood out to me was Dr. Wolf's presentation on reforming the grading policy of the schools. I too was skeptical of the merit of something akin to a 4-point grading system, or even his more tame 50-point grading system, but the logical and clear way in which Dr. Wolf presented his research and personal experiences allowed me to think more deeply on the proposal of a system that rewarded learning and improvement over consistent perfection. In other words, looking at growth rather than luck of what might already be known by a student. This is exactly what a committee like this should stand for, not just complaining about the minor or major inconveniences of school, but also taking the time to actually learn why some regulations are put in place, why laws about how school policy and how San Marino has met and often exceeded these criteria, and why some things are simply not feasible, either as a result of money or precedent. Another item this committee addressed was a better way to amplify student voices and get more people involved into the workings of school. That is, how can school officials better gauge the thoughts and feelings of their students? This is how, now as a student who was enrolled in AP statistics this year, I learned a lot about sampling and the proper way to do it in order to avoid error. Sometimes the way in which a sample is conducted will systematically lead to inaccurate evidence. In the case of something like an anonymous Google form, which our school uses many times, error may manifest in the way in the student's inability to take an anonymous survey seriously, or even their inability to complete it as a result of poor motivation or a lack of personal conviction. On this note, I will say that however helpful the Superintendent Student Advisory Committee is, it too represents a form of bias known as self-selection bias, because only people who want to be here are part of this panel and able to give their personal insight. That is why I believe that the best way to communicate with students would be through a series of randomized one-on-one interviews. While I do think that the Superintendent Student Advisory Committee is an excellent tool for both Dr. De La Torre and the district to utilize, I will concede that it is comprised primarily of driven and high-achieving individuals, which, while representative of a majority of the San Marino schools, may fail to adequately represent the entire student body. By conducting individual interviews, select students would be chosen at random to represent each grade level. Some would have taken AP and honors courses while others wouldn't have. Some would be academically inclined and others would be athletically inclined. And some would be eager to give input while others might not even care. But most importantly, this would be representative of the school's population and ensure that no contingent goes unheard. Furthermore, the individual nature of the interviews would ensure that students give thoughtful responses, while also eliminating the risk that students might respond unseriously as a result of peer pressure or simply the ability to hide behind their screen as an anonymous profile. I feel extremely lucky to have had the opportunity to share my voice these past 2 years as part of this committee. Even between the first and second years, I have seen a more dedicated response, not just to listening to the voices of council members, but also to educate them. In the future, I think attending board meetings should be more encouraged for members of the committee, not necessarily to speak or address the district, but rather to learn and observe the actual workings of the district in real time. Again, I'd like to thank Dr. De La Torre and every member of her cabinet who came and spoke to us. Each of you took time out of your schedule to listen to the students and educate us on the workings of the district. You answered our questions thoughtfully and provided insight, affirming or negating our opinions and observations in a respectful manner. The committee, I hope, has inspired students to play a more meaningful role in their schools and communities, because I know it has certainly done that for me. Thank you.
Ben, before you sit down, you want to tell us where you're headed to in the fall?
Okay, fall to USC.
Yay!
Hi. So I definitely don't have a speech as detailed and as long as Ben's. That was incredibly detailed. To be completely fair, I did not have a speech planned. I thought of my answers once I read the email that was sent to us, and I let my answers just jumble around my brain, did not write them down like I probably should have done. And when I decided to finally write a script 40 minutes ago, 40 minutes ago, I wrote down what was still in my brain, still intact, but probably mixed with everything else that has happened today. So please be, I'm gonna be completely off topic, most likely. So the first thing I would like to mention is that, like Ben, I think the Student Advisory Council is a great way for students to actually express their thoughts, ideas, and feelings about the school. We are taken seriously. We aren't just pushed aside our everything we say is taken to account. We're always taken seriously, and it is a great way for us to just be able to express ourselves. The first thing that I kind of actually remember from our meetings is Dr. Wolf's presentation again. It's one of the only things I can remember clearly because I already had an opinion on it. And I think he probably knew that by the amount of questions and amount of just questions I was asking the entire time. And I honestly, it really solidified my idea, but it also gave me a new perspective into the grading system, which is something that I knew from my dad. I was supposed to take every single person's ideas, theories, and take them into account and not just reject them, because if you reject someone's ideas, then you might not know the full story, which isn't great. You always want to know everyone's side and never want to just assume your own side is correct. Like I mentioned before, I think the Superintendent Student Advisory Council offers a great way for students to express their ideas, concerns, and beliefs about the school, and a place where their voices will be heard and won't be ignored. It's a great way for students in San Marino to bring up issues that they have and issues they have about the school, about policy, about teachers themselves, or just bring up random topics they want to discuss. There's an agenda normally, but sometimes we go very off topic, which is very fun, but also annoying because you have to go back on topic. Like I said, the speech was not planned out. It's really what was in my head 40 minutes ago. So thank you.
Tia, where are you headed in the fall?
I'm going to college in Worcester.
Wonderful. Come on.
Hi, I'm Chloe. Good evening, Superintendent De La Torre, Board President Chang, Executive Cabinet, and Board. As a senior and a member of the Superintendent Student Advisory Council, this experience has really changed the way I see my role as a student. Prior to this year, I used to think that decisions about school happen very far above us. But being part of this council has shown me that students can and should be a part of the conversation. One of the most meaningful parts of the year was being able to weigh in on real decisions, like the new ethnic studies curriculum and grading scale. Having the chance to hear directly from Dr. Wolf and the executive team gave me a whole new perspective on how thoughtful and multifaceted these decisions really are. I really appreciated and enjoyed that we weren't just there to give surface level opinions, but we were also asked to think critically and share insight to help shape policy. That level of trust pushed me to engage more deeply. It was something I didn't expect, but showed me how much student voices matter when they're openly welcomed to the process. Being a part of this council has truly taught me how important it is to speak up and how important it is to listen. I'm so glad I had the opportunity to be a part of it, and I hope the students who come after me to keep pushing for change. Thank you.
Chloe, where are you headed?
I'm going to go to the University of Richmond.
Hi, as before, I would again like to thank Dr. De La Torre and Dr. Richter and Dr. Wolf for hosting the Superintendent Student Advisory Council every month. It was amazing to talk to you, and I love your outfits every time. And always coming so stunning, and I
Right
can't
back at you.
emphasize that enough. Okay. As a high school student, it's always been easy to dismiss school-related issues as hopeless or the fault of an administration that doesn't do anything. And certainly 2 years ago, before joining the Superintendent Student Advisory Council, or SSAC as we call it, I admittedly also didn't think of the administration or school board as much more than some mystical concept that might possibly do things for us. Of course, the obvious truth is that students are usually too face-first in their academics and other problems to think about the little details that inevitably go unnoticed. But even for problems that do get noticed, students usually have little to no opportunities to give their own constructive feedback. Hence why the SSAC is such a special platform for us students to finally voice our opinions. After all, it's one thing to implement shiny new policies, but until said policies are examined for their realistic consequences, they remain conceptual. And there's no better way to observe their effects than by asking precisely whom they affect: the students. In this year alone, the SSAC has discussed a great number of topics, including, but not limited to, board goals, facility improvements, campus safety, academic and social environments in schools, and student well-being, all of which have been highly informative as a student of the district. For example, earlier this year, I brought up the point of improving the ventilation and insulation systems of our high school's gymnasiums, an ongoing concern for students who play summer and winter sports. To my surprise, actually, the issue had already been considered. Due to a number of California legal regulations and updated building codes, the gym unfortunately can't be improved unless the entire building is brought up to code, apparently with costs nearly equivalent to completely rebuilding the gyms. Although this answer was a little discouraging, it was reassuring that the issue was far from being ignored, as many students tend to believe. In other meetings, we've also been asked for feedback on things like security improvements, like our increased number of cameras at school, buzzing people into the school after 8:30, and having seniors leave campus from a single exit at lunchtimes. And while there are endless complaints to be made by students about all the inconveniences they cause, I have honestly never felt safer. And in terms of student wellness at school, we are very fortunate to have access to a resource like our on-campus wellness center and the many other resources for mental health offered there. I have also made it a personal point of mine to advocate for greater awareness among students of current events and marginalized communities. So as you can imagine, I was quite pleased to hear about the implementation of ethnic studies classes, as Chloe mentioned, into the high school curriculum next year. I've also heard plans to bring back events like Career Day, as mentioned by Dr. Wolf, for students to gain insight into better preparing their futures even beyond college. And actually, on the topic of preparing students for their futures, I'd also like to momentarily turn things over to my personal advice to incoming freshmen, as we were asked, or to any incoming freshmen watching. I would say seriously consider and plan for your goals for high school and beyond, and work hard towards them. Take advantage of every opportunity, like the SSAC. Take initiative and don't be afraid to ask for help when you need it. Prioritize your values and your own well-being, and realize that even though the future beyond high school seems far now, 4 years go by really quickly. And last, in terms of the future of the Superintendent Student Advisory Council, I'm beyond excited to hear about topics discussed in the future and the greater impact the council will have on student life. There are certainly still a number of issues to be addressed, like issues with bathroom facilities and material shortages in science classes, but I have full confidence that through the SSAC, student voices will be heard and taken seriously, and San Marino will only become better for it. Thank you.
Emily, where are you headed to this fall?
Hi.
Hi.
Good evening, President Chang, members of the school board, Superintendent Dr. Delatorre, and esteemed members of our community. My name is Genevieve Fan, and I'm currently a sophomore at San Marino High School. It is both an honor and a privilege for me to stand before you tonight, especially as someone who has served on the Superintendent Student Advisory Council for the past 2 years. I mean, let's be real here. The cookies they provide are to die for. On a serious note, this amazing council has educated me on the complex requirements imposed on district operations and allowed me to voice my concerns and have a direct say on the impactful choices that the district makes. But we don't just offer blind advice. Under the nurturing guidance of Dr. De La Torre and other members of district leadership, we have discussed campus safety, academic goals, district employees' roles and responsibilities. I was able to truly learn and appreciate how the district functions as a whole. But why is having student input important? Elevating student voice in district decision-making is not just important, it's essential. After all, we students are the ones most directly impacted by school policies. Our perspectives can help shape those policies, ensuring that they meet the real needs of our student bodies. For instance, our experiences do not only exist within the confines of the classroom, they extend far beyond. School life impacts our decision-making, social interactions, and even our mental well-being when we step off campus. When students share their lived experiences, we shine a light on challenges and opportunities that could improve school decisions and student performance. By doing this, we help leaders make more informed and responsive decisions that truly reflect student needs. One crucial aspect I have defined is the need for more guidance from upperclassmen. As a freshman, I struggled with the social dynamics of high school and balancing my different activities. So, if I could give advice to incoming freshmen, it would be live life. In a system that often prioritizes academics and college admissions, do make time for yourself, for fun. There will always be time for academic excellence, but join the activities you love and live a life that you won't regret looking back on. My TA in AP World History class had a great analogy. Imagine staying up late scrolling on your phone and waking up exhausted the next morning. Don't let high school feel like an aimless scrolling of activities. Let us walk across that graduation stage proud of the hard work we've invested in achieving our goals, but also inspired to embrace a life filled with balance and enriching connections that will carry us forward in our future. I am honored to have had the opportunity to work with Dr. De La Torre and many dedicated district employees this year. I am inspired by your continued visions to raise the bar for students' education, work through challenges, and listen to our suggestions, and keep our well-being at the forefront of your initiatives. Thank you for the strong leadership and wonderful support you have shown us. Thank you for an incredible year.
Those were amazing, amazing speeches. Thank you so very much. You are all incredible, and I'm so fortunate to have had the opportunity to work with all of you this year, last year, and Genevieve, I'll have you for another 2 years, so that's wonderful.
Next fall is on the same campus.
That's right, that's right. So I'm going to present the entire Superintendent Student Advisory Council with a certificate of appreciation and recognition. So I'd like at this time for all of the students to come up here, front and center. And while you're doing that, I'm going to read to you what this says. And it says, "This is in recognition of your valuable contributions, dedication, and service to the Superintendent Student Advisory Council and San Marino Unified School District. Your thoughtful input and commitment to student voices have made a meaningful impact on our school community. With sincere appreciation, we commend your leadership and involvement during the 2024-25 school year." So at this time, we're going to pass these out. We're going to go ahead and pass these out, and I'm going to ask for these wonderful student leaders to help me do that. if you don't mind. Get those passed out, and then if we get the Board of Education in here, while we're doing that, I would like to take this opportunity to thank the chair. Wonderful group of people together, and we're gonna thank them.
This is tight.
Yes. Yes.
Outside now. Good.
Yes.
Mr. Care.
Yeah, come on, let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it.
Hold on, you know what, borrow this one and we're gonna get your. Pretend like,
I think we're gonna have to move some shorter people in front of other people. Because the lens isn't wide enough.
Sorry? Maybe a little slower.
Yeah.
Why don't we, turn around?
Would you make some?
Oh, no, okay. Sorry, President, you're on our name. Anyone who's played football,
They are.
Lisa, why aren't you ordering David to help you?
That's right. She's a precedent. She should have.
Okay. Wow. So can just anyone, oh, wow. If I had known that all year.
Yeah.
Don't get me started on this file. Oh my God.
Yeah, yes, there you go.
Anybody else? I know. Right, any parents want to try to see you?
Yes. Thank you so very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Let me let it.
I just didn't think of. Okay.
You wanna connect, like, normal?
Yeah. Do you know who donated? I would love to send them like a thank you.
So, yeah, so, I mean, I don't have. Hey, you sound like a. But I'll take it.
Yeah. Okay.
I can read it.
Love that. Of course.
So I told her about it, let's. Okay, so You gotta keep it. Thank you. You gotta keep this lead up, top up there. Hey guys, have to. Guys. Agenda, look at the next meeting's topics.
How long you stay in the San Marino?
I stayed there for like, it was like a day trip. We were in like Oakland. Yeah, like on a river first.
I see.
Yeah, that was cool.
I didn't hear about that. Oh, sure, yeah, you know.
Let's continue. 7C Student Board Member Recognition. I would like to turn it over to the Superintendent, Dr. Territory, for our Student Board Member Recognition.
Thank you, President Chang, members of the Board of Education, executive team. It is my distinct honor and privilege this evening to honor the service of our wonderful board member, Chloe Ta. I remember one of the first things that she said as a student board member was how important it was to her that we elevate student voice. And that's something that resonated with me and something that really inspired me to keep going with our Superintendent Student Advisory Council. And Chloe, you exemplify what it takes to be dedicated as a student to the Board of Education. You show up, you're here faithfully. You do a wonderful job. You're very professional in your delivery of information to the Board of Education. And we are just so incredibly proud of you and thankful for the service that you have provided to this school district and to the school board. Thank you so much for your service. And we have a certificate that we're going to present to you along with this lovely bouquet of flowers. If you want to come up. And right up here and read to you this wonderful resolution number 15, student board member recognition. Resolution for service to the San Marino Unified School District as a student board member. Whereas Chloe Ta has served as student board member during the 2024-25 school year, and whereas Chloe Ta has made a unique and significant contribution to the deliberations of the Board of Education through her participation. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Education of San Marino Unified School District commends and extends appreciation to student board member Chloe Ta. National Chloe Ta Day. Thank you, Erin. Okay, over to you.
There we go. Perfect. Okay, thank you.
You're getting a wonderful young man.
Who are we getting?
Rowan Burke. He's the next four number. Rowan Burke.
President Chang and Dr. Delatorre, if I may, while we still have some parents and some students in the audience, it's really amazing for us as a board and as cabinet to just really witness and see the growth in your children. When we have student advisory, we really make it very meaningful and impactful, and we really take their voices and we hear them. And our student board member, some people think, oh, it's just a position and they just come. But really, they've affected so much change in our district, not only in elevating student voice, but our wellness center, the idea and concept came from our student board member. And we had another year where a student board member asked to be a participant in a higher level training. So we took her to California School Boards Association with the student as a representative for our school district. So there are many opportunities within the district, and we continue to thank you, Dr. Delatorre. Thank you, President Chang, for continuing the work that we do, because really our jewel are our children, right? We can talk all about other programs and things, but it's really our children. So thank you so much, parents. And thank you.
And also, one more thing before we have parents who leave, just a reminder that voting is open for Measure R. And if you haven't already, dropped off your ballot or voted in person, please do so. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Delatorre, for that reminder. We're still seeing very low numbers. If you can talk to your friends about it, the numbers are really low, and we really need you guys to turn out and really support the kids and the schools. So thank you.
Thank you, Sherry. Any board member like to make a comment on the Chloe talk?
Oh, I just like to thank you guys for being so welcoming this year. All you guys are so sweet, and it's like always like have open arms and so easy to talk to. So thank you for such a great year. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for connecting us to the student body, because I feel like you really brought their true voice to us at like the highest administration level, and it's so important for us to really stay in touch with that. So thank you.
Anything more? Okay.
And we're gonna miss you.
We're gonna miss you.
We're gonna miss you.
Yes.
Okay, let's continue. 8, public comment. The Board of Education has adopted Board Policy 9323B to ensure the public's right to be heard in any matter pertaining to the San Marino Unified School District. Person who wish to provide a public comment will have 3 options to submit the public comment. First, submit through an online form. Did we have any submission via the online form?
There were no submissions today.
Okay, second, a request to speak during the meeting via the Zoom. Mr. Hong, please pause the meeting for 1 minute to collect the public comment.
1 minute timer starts now. Communications from the audience regarding matters not on the agenda or items in the consent information and action sections, please provide your comments now. If you would like to request to speak during the meeting, please press the raise hand icon to make a request. If you're calling in from home, please dial *9 to make a request or submit a public comment card. There are 35 seconds left. There are no attendees online wishing to speak.
Thank you. Third, request to speak during the meeting in person via the public comment card. Do we have any submission via the public comment card besides the one?
Just the one.
Anyone want to speak out? So please take a public comment card. I give the 1 minute, yeah, to collect.
So sorry for the delay.
Not yet. Okay, that's it. We only have one, it's a Christian Gale.
Thank you, members of the board, Trustee Chang. Appreciate the introduction. I know you all mentioned I'm here to just speak briefly on behalf of Measure R. I'm Kristen Gare, the committee chair for the renewal of Measure R. I'm here tonight to further encourage parents and members of the community to vote. As a reminder, Measure R provides $1.6 million in annual funding to pay for 11 teacher and counselor positions for our San Marino School District. It's set to expire next month. Election Day is less than 7 days away, June 3rd. Measure R needs 66.67% support to pass, and we really need parents to get their ballots in. Recent parcel tax renewals in the Bay Area failed narrowly by 65% because parents didn't vote. As of our last update from Los Angeles County, less than 15% of registered voters have voted so far. Only about 200 parents. We've got about 1,200 registered parents yet to vote. Every vote will really make a difference. Measure R is the only thing on the ballot this June, so it's easy to vote. As a reminder, you can vote in person at Huntington Middle School Gym. It's open every day from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. and on June 3rd from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. If you still have your ballot, you can also vote by mail. Simply find your ballot, be sure to vote yes, sign the envelope and drop it in the mailbox or at the drop box at San Marino City Hall. If you don't have your ballot, if you've lost it, please go and vote at Huntington Middle School Gym. If you'd like to help us volunteer, we would love your help. We're still out walking, canvassing, texting. Feel free to contact me at 303-947-0063, Kristen Gare, and thanks so much for your support.
Okay, next consent section. Do I have a motion to approve the consent section from the 9A through the 9J?
Move to approve consent section 9A through J.
Any second?
Second.
Roll call, Mr. Song.
Aye.
Mrs. Lam.
Aye.
Mrs. Ryan.
Aye.
Mrs. Gear.
Aye.
Mr. Chen, aye. And Ms. Ta.
Aye.
Motion carry. Next 10, communication section. A, communication from the Board of Education. Okay, start from the Mr. Song. Just give us, each one give us 3 minutes. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chang. I get a chance to go to the Promethean breakfast in the high school. This is my first time, and I see a lot of kids make the great achievement today, and they're kind of celebrating and what they do. And there's two things I learned from the common from them. It's the first thing they all say, school is so hard. I guess it's a very challenging. San Marino is not easy school because we have very high standard. But second thing I learned from everybody is also they agree that they all get the support though. So they always is a very pre-challenging environment, but they're always getting the support from the teachers and peers and everybody. So I kind of feel that strong community in the San Marino. So it was good to be there for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. Lam.
I will add that because we are a strong community, we should all, on June 3rd, go vote. And if you are not able to make it on June 3rd, submit your ballots. Thank you.
Next, Mrs. Ryan.
Thank you. I don't want to take too much time, but the Prometheans really just highlighted and showcase the wonderful work that our staff does for our students and all the support that they give them in a very rigorous environment. But many of them said this is what defines who they are and how they've achieved. So thank you for that.
Mrs. Gill.
So I, in the last couple of weeks, have been to a choir concert, the HMS Orchestra, a foundation meeting, Prometheans breakfast. And one thing that stood out to me, I love that the Prometheans are a combination of academics, leadership, and high moral integrity. And it just goes to show students that, you are seen when you're not knowing that people are watching you, and it doesn't go unnoticed. And so it was really wonderful to see all of them this morning. So thank you.
May 15, Thursday, I attend the San Marino Rotary Club meeting. So the speaker is a new president of Occidental College. And then the May 19, I attend the a Major R promotion hosted by the Liz and the Dennis Neal. And then May 20 and 21, I went to Sacramento. I chat with our service area and some elected officer, assemblyman, and also the senator. And this morning, I also go to LA County because of the API, the month of API. This morning, I also attend the Promethean. I think this is a very good program, very tradition. Thank you. Okay, next go to the communication from the student board member.
So as the year wraps up, there's a lot of senior events. So this Wednesday is a senior parent dinner, senior awards on Thursday, the school luau for the high schools on Friday, and prom is on the Queen Mary this Saturday, which is very exciting. Next week, Carver has their kickball classic, Valentine has their hat parade, and HMS has their spirit day. And the high school has grad night light up on next Wednesday, and the theme is Super Mario Brothers. And the last day of school is next Thursday, so very excited.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it. Sorry.
Okay, next communication from the superintendent.
Thank you, President Chang, members of the Board of Education executive team. I am going to give my time to the San Marino Schools Foundation. So President Wu, if you would come up to the podium.
Our own exceptional kids.
All right.
There's no shortage of those here.
Right, Board President Chang, Board of Education members, Superintendent Delatorre, and District Cabinet. Thanks for having us here. My name's Tony Woos. It's been my honor to serve as the president of the San Marino Schools Foundation for the 2024-25 school year. We've been working hard, not only to meet our annual fundraising goals, but also continue to strengthen our organization and operations while preparing for the future. In addition to our fundraising activities, we sponsored an active group of 11 high school interns who worked a total of 315 hours to share to the benefit of the schools and the work of the foundation. So I'm especially proud to have our 4 senior interns here to present a brief recap of our year.
Hi everyone, my name is Alice Tang. This year I will be attending UCLA in the fall, and I've been an intern here at the Schools Foundation for 2 years. I'm happy to report that the foundation this year we've granted the district over $1.9 million, which supports 20 teachers across our 4 school districts. And we've also continued to manage 2 restricted endowments that benefit our San Marino High School Titans. We have the Dong Brothers Endowment, which has granted over $23,000 since 2017. And we also had the Leslie Moore Memorial Scholarship that has granted $26,000 since 2019. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Ellie Vuitton. I've been an intern with the foundation for the past 2 years, and next year in the fall, I'll be attending New York University. This year, we had a dedicated team of 28 trustees who worked tirelessly to achieve this mission and communicate our message about district funding needs. At the beginning of the year, we started with the welcoming new families at the Old Mill and put on a number of successful fundraisers, including our 2nd annual Pie Day, our Huntington Drive banner campaign, and our yard sign campaign. We thank our donors with a donor recognition event at the San Marino Community Center a couple weeks ago, attended by nearly 400 people. And that's all. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Valerie Zhu, and this is my 2nd year as a foundation intern. This fall, I'll be attending Rutgers University Honors College, and I'm proud that not only is the foundation a donor to the schools, but is also a messenger and cheerleader for the district. In addition to providing the student leader internship program, we are working to strengthen our alumni commitment with quarterly newsletters, and we administered grants given by our parents and community, and we had trustee liaisons at every school site. We sponsored a booth at the Chinese Club's Lunar New Year event and attended school board meetings, PTA meetings, and countless other district events. And we took advantage of every opportunity to inform and educate our community about funding needs. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Kenzie Chu, and after graduation, I'll be attending Cal State Long Beach. As a member of the inaugural intern class, I have participated in the foundation internship program for the past 3 years. I promise I was sure. I came from an ASB banquet. On behalf of the Board of Trustees and staff of San Marino Schools Foundation, I'd like to thank the Board of Education and the superintendent for providing us with information we needed to accomplish our mission. As a graduating senior, I'd like to thank all of our donors for supporting the schools and the high quality of education that I and my fellow students have benefited from since kindergarten. Thank you.
That was great. We're totally doing it this way every year. First of all, we want to make sure everyone knows that Kenzie is actually one of our Prometheans this year. Valerie is a recipient of the Leslie Moore Scholarship, one of our recipients. Also like to thank Catherine Oliveros, our foundation manager, without whom our events in office would not run as smoothly as it has. We have 4 new board members for the next year. And I do want to put in a plug for Measure R because Kristen Gear is one of our new first trustees, and I'm really happy to have her on board. I'm also proud to be returning as next year's president. So thank you all. We're looking forward to another fantastic year.
I'm rotating.
Of course, not Annie. Now we want to make some adjustments. We're showing it. I'll take it.
All right, 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. One more extra.
Okay, thank you so much.
David's leaving.
You're not staying for the entire thing? Why is it entire? David, you don't do anything. Why are you? You need to listen to the entire meeting.
By the way, please stay. On behalf of San Marino Unified School District and all of the students, I'd like to appreciate San Marino School Foundation for your continuous support because I cannot deny that we really need this check. Yeah. So yeah, but you know I've been observe you guys really doing a good job. Yeah, I know this the tradition. I was a school foundation trustee too. So I just want to say the many thanks from the school district, from the teacher, from the student, parent. Yeah, thank you. Okay, next, let's go to the 11 information item. 11A, as usual, Major M update.
Thank you, President Chang, members of the board, student board member Chloe, and executive team. Since our board study session on May 13th, we have made meaningful progress in advancing the implementation of Measure M. Excuse me. Based on the board's feedback, we are refining a multi-year bond issuance strategy that aligns with our educational priorities, fiscal responsibility, and regulatory requirements. To support the initial bond issuance, we have developed preliminary project budgets using the facilities master plan as our foundation. These early cost models are now being incorporated into a detailed implementation plan that will outline project sequencing, align timelines with bond cash flow, and define the overall delivery strategy. As part of this process, our bond program manager, CJ Nolan, has forecasted what can feasibly be completed by July of 2028 with estimated expenditures. This projection provides a strategic cushion for potential delays and ensures we can fully exhaust a first issuance of $40 million within the projected timeline. Also in collaboration with CJ, we are evaluating bond accounting and project management software platforms to identify the best solution, ensuring strong financial reporting and full transparency. The district is working to engage approved architectural firms for early impact projects, so with scheduled meetings and site tours coming up. Additionally, CJ and I have scheduled meetings with our school principals later this week to gather site-specific input and additional feedback. Later tonight, I will present 2 resolutions for board action. The first resolution authorizes the County of Los Angeles to establish a tax rate for the Measure M bonds, and the second resolution authorizes the issuance and sale of the first series of Measure M bonds. We remain committed to keeping the board closely involved in this process as we continue to meet regularly with the board president and vice president to ensure alignment and timely decision-making. Updates on Measure M progress will also continue to be posted on the district website under the Measure M section. And that concludes our informational update on Measure M.
Thank you. As I mentioned this as usual, because I think this is very important, the issue agenda. So I insist each school board meeting, there is a update. So then we can treat this transparent, yeah, because this is taxpayer money, yeah. Okay, next. Let's go to the 11B 2024 to 25 PTA PTSA site president report on the donated fund and the volunteer hour and the PTA council changing of the GAR 2025 to 2026 officer. I would like to turn it over to PTA council president Melissa Kelly.
I could call one of those kids up to give my speech for me. Great speakers. Good evening. Thank you for hosting PTA's Changing of the Guard, where we acknowledge and hear from our outgoing PTA presidents and welcome our incoming presidents. I'm Marissa Kelly, and I've happily served this year and will continue to happily serve next year as San Marino PTA Council's president, helping alongside our incredible council board to advise our school's PTAs, though they were in such good hands with Kim Sutantio, Annie Tang, Erin Cloherty, and Lisa Wang this year. Council administered a successful reflections program led by Yvonne Chang and our site chairs, collecting almost 100 applications featuring our students' artistic talents. We ran a wonderful Founders Day coordinated by Ryan Zanatti and Mandy Saber, where we celebrated our school and community volunteers and honored our high school students who received academic excellence awards for their exceptional essay submissions. Our PTAs have made a huge impact on our schools, due in large part to a strong and valued partnership fostered by our district's administration. Along with many of our city's organizations, we have helped bridge the gap for our schools, allocating millions of dollars and volunteer hours over the years to provide enrichment programs which would not be possible without our associations, supported by our parents, staff, teachers, PTA boards, event chairs, and dedicated leadership, not to mention our loyal community, some of whom no longer have children in our district but continue to give back. I can't brag enough about the outgoing presidents and couldn't be more impressed by their successors. They have faced challenges with grace, celebrated success humbly, engaging with new volunteers while embracing veteran help, and have never rested on their laurels. Because of their dedication and drive to always do their best, our PTAs continue to make a difference and serve our children by protecting their education and welfare. Speaking of our children's welfare, PTA also advocates for students when it comes to endorsing campaign measures that promote the well-being of children in areas like education, health, and parent involvement. Did you hear correctly that roughly only 200 of 1,200 San Marino registered voters have cast their ballots for Measure R? We need your help because every vote counts. If fewer people vote, it becomes more difficult to reach the required supermajority threshold. And we're not just, we're not just gathering support for 11.4 positions. Sorry, I'm emotional. We're fighting for our child's elementary school teacher, their middle or high school math and science teacher, their counselor, their library and tech support. People who are devoted to San Marino and really care about our students. Losing any of them would be devastating. Please vote yes on Measure R, mail in your ballots, and vote in person at the HMS gym by June 3rd. Sorry. I'd now like to invite this year's PTA presidents to come up to share highlights from their school year and introduce their successors, starting with Lisa Wang.
Oh boy. The kids did such a great job that I think I'm in agreement with Marissa. They should continue to do all speeches as well. It's my pleasure to present the 24-25 PTSA report for San Marino High School. In August, we welcomed over 250 freshmen to campus. That's the largest that we had in a while. And our PTA volunteers helped with distribution of textbooks, photos, moving the lines along, and the lines were quite long. In November, our annual parent party, the theme was the Havana Nights, raised over $47,000. And this is without any fixed bid fundraiser this year. And we donated $50,000 to support the 4A programs. PTSA also supported the ASB, Link Crew, Homecoming, and then the Year Luau that's coming up. We support our teachers' wish list, and throughout the year, have various lunches, treats for our teachers through our Teacher Appreciation Chair. We recognized 2 Honorary Service Award recipients in March, and just this month, we recognized 9 terrific Titans for their continuing volunteering at our high school. Our volunteers logged over 50,000 volunteering hours. And the Grand Night chairs and the committee have been so busy at work throughout this year. Our theme is Mario Kart, in case you haven't heard. And I invite the community and everyone here for Light Up, June 4th, Wednesday, next Wednesday. Hope everyone will be there. I also have a plug for Measure R. I know it's a little redundant, but this past year, the PTSA supported Measure M, which passed in November. I encourage everyone to get out and vote on June 3rd, or sending your ballot by June 3rd. This is a super majority, and so like you have heard throughout the evening, we need everyone's vote. I also wanted to take a moment to congratulate my son, Jared, and his class of 2025 on their success. This is an amazing class based on their chalk day photo from Dr. Wolf. I hope that they enjoy their upcoming prom, the next week's activities, and there's various days of activities, the graduation, and of course, the grand night that the PTSA volunteers have been hard at work. Finally, I want to personally thank my exec board, all the volunteers, businesses that donated their time and money to make the PTSA a success, and for supporting our high school. We cannot do it without your support. It's been a privilege to be the president of the PTSA for the last 2 years, and I'm so ready to pass the baton to our next year's president, Dr. Jackie Tuan. Or HMS PTA.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Okay, our fabulous Huntington Middle School had a wonderful year. I had the honor of leading the Foxes forward this year as PTA president, and with the help of our stellar executive board and our many event chairs, HMS remains resilient. We opened the 24-25 school year with our first days of school activities, including our new student orientation and new family orientations. This helps to transition our new students and families into the realm of middle school, a daunting feat that I feel HMS does beautifully. In September, PTA organized our first of monthly noontime fun activities for the students, where they're joined in games, races, and general fun during their lunchtime, during the recess, topped with a yummy treat. In addition, we hosted our first of 3 sixth grade dances, which allowed our newest middle schoolers to let loose and have fun with loud music, food, activities, and friends new and old. In October, we threw the most magical Huntington breakfast with a Harry Potter theme and rose close to $70,000. After the new year, our PTA geared up for our parent party at the HBC and gathered a community of HMS parents for some money raising, friendly pickleball playing, and big time fun. In the spring, we hosted our first ever Fox Fun Night for our spring fundraiser, where our community of middle schoolers gathered for a simulated game show and had a ball singing, eating, and competing against their peers. Toward the back end of the year, we got to honor our superstar volunteers during our HMS Halo Award, Awards, where this year 6 very worthy recipients were recognized, including our dynamic leader, Principal Mary Hazlett, whom I had the tremendous honor of working closely with all year. HMS is so lucky to have such a dedicated and experienced leader. I wanted to thank her personally for her patience and guidance with me all throughout the year. Our PTA also had the honor of spoiling our tremendous HMS staff during Staff Appreciation Week. We hosted a full week's worth of goodies, meals, and gifts for our incredible hardworking teachers, administrators, and staff. With the funds that were raised in the beginning of the year, it's clear that our community admires and adores our teachers so much, and that we have the most gracious families who deeply care about their children and the experiences and enrichment they have here at school. Moreover, the general volunteerism this year at HMS was stunning. With over 9,400 hours logged, we were able to support our many schools' activities, leadership, and fundraisers. And the generosity does not stop there. This year, Huntington Middle School PTA allocated $90,000 to fund our outdoor education, transportation, school software, campus beautification, VAPA, athletic and academic team support, and much more. Thus, it is my sincere pleasure to introduce the next year's PTA president for Henry E. Huntington Middle School, Mrs. Ryan Zanuti. She is a veteran to the PTA, and I speak for myself and everyone at HMS and Valentine when I say that we are so comforted that this school will be in such capable and warm and friendly hands next year. The 25-26 school year is going to be fabulous. Thank you.
Oh, I also wrote this 40 minutes ago. No. I actually forgot about this meeting, and this goes to speak a lot about the amount of support that I received from all the presidents this year, from all the different sites, from Maritza, from all the past presidents at Carver. I mean, within minutes of me lamenting about how I didn't even know I had to speak tonight, I had 2 past president speeches in my inbox, and then I had Catherine and Jackie ready to send me theirs too. I mean, it's a service even better than ChatGPT. But truly, this year went by like a blur. I can't believe it's already the end of the year. And we had an incredible 2024-2025 school year with over 815 kids, which is the largest it's been since I've been there. And we've accomplished so many amazing things. Our parent party raised the most money in the recent years. Our parking spots went for over $20,000, just like back in the olden years when Jackie chaired parent party. Our parents kept our social calendar super packed. They hosted over 40 fixed bid parties throughout the year. That's more than an event a week throughout the entire school year, including a dad's poker night that raised more than $20,000 in that one night. Go Dads. We had not one, but we had 3 book fairs and a total of over $16,000 that were donated to our teachers for their classroom libraries, as well as to our Carver Library. This year, we had a lot of weather challenges. Our Carver picnic had to be rescheduled due to the heat wave, but families showed up in droves and supported the event. Our dance-a-thon had to be rescheduled due to rain, and yet it raised a record-breaking amount of $60,000. Our carnival, it was pouring rain that day, but our Carver families and the community showed up.
and braved the torrential downpour, and we still raise the most money out of any carnival in the history of Carver. So our historians calculated that our families put in 48,645 hours, and our net proceeds from donations and fundraisers is nearly $440,000 this year. And through fall and spring allocations, we allocated over $405,000 to support various enrichment programs and our STEM programs and so much more. And all is this to say that Carver is magical. The community is very supportive, is strong, and our families have a common goal to make our kids' education a priority. We recently had a game show assembly for our 4th and 5th graders, and it's called Are You Smarter Than a 5th Grader? And our pioneers had the opportunity to showcase all they've learned throughout the year as they answered the multiple choice questions that were from their curriculum. And at one point, it was team parents versus team kids. And needless to say, the kids won. And it wasn't because we were letting them win. If you know me, I don't like to lose, so I wouldn't let them win. So we actually really tried hard to not lose, but they still won. I mean, our kids are smart. Our kids are loved. Our kids thrive at Carver. And that's all thanks to our wonderful teachers, our wonderful principal, the staff, the amazing staff, and the leadership at the school district. So thank you so much. Coming up here tonight is it's a little bit bittersweet because I truly did have the greatest time this year being Carver president. I feel like my greatest accomplishment was not losing the president's pin, which I was told was the original pin. And we were the only school site that has the original pin from, I don't know, it's got to be 50, 60 years now. And so I just want to put on record that I did not lose it. So it's going on to Kathy. Luckily, my child is going to be in 5th grade next year. I know that Kathy's theme next year is Carver is awesome. So luckily, I'll still be around and begging Kathy to continue to let me help out and be involved because I know that she will do great things. All right. Thank you so much. I had the honor of leading Valentine Elementary as the PTA president this year. With the dedication of an outstanding executive board, event chairs, and parent volunteers, Valentine continues to thrive as a vibrant, supportive school community. At Valentine, we cherish our traditions while also embracing new ideas and improvements. We kicked off the school year with our beloved first day of school activities, which included our popsicle social, kindergarten TK welcome wagon, and orientations for both new and returning families. In September, we welcomed families onto campus for lunch with a loved one. It was a heartwarming to see families spread out, picnic blankets, and share lunch with their students, and some even jumped into a game of handball before heading back to work. In October, we had our fall fair themed Dream Big, Shine Bright Vikings. Students went on a galactic adventure in the bounce houses, carnival games, and sweet treats. We wrapped up the month with Red Ribbon Week featuring a thrilling BMX bike performance. The week emphasized the importance of making healthy, positive choices and prioritizing mental and physical well-being. In November, we took a time to reflect and to celebrate. We honored 8 veterans, fathers and grandfathers of our Vikings during our annual Valentine Veterans Day Assembly. Later that month, our book fair kicked off with our Donuts at Dawn, and our families generously donated over 500 books to classroom libraries and our Valentine Library. Students were excited to fill their home bookshelves with new reads. We ended 2024 with our heartwarming winter music program, capped off with our 5th graders' moving performance of Let There Be Peace on Earth, a beautiful reminder of unity and kindness. In February, we opened our doors to students displaced by the Eden fires. As a parent, I was deeply proud to see our Valentine Vikings extend compassion and empathy, helping new classmates adjust, navigate campus, and feel welcomed. It was a true demonstration of our heart values at Valentine. With support of the Chinese Club of San Marino, we celebrated Lunar New Year with student crafts, a staff luncheon, and captivating student performances featuring traditional dances and martial arts. We also showed our love for reading with our readathon, and our students read an impressive 97,140 pages over a period of 5 days. One of the most exciting milestones this year was the formation of Valentine's very first student council, made up of our amazing 4th and 5th graders. The PTA was thrilled to partner with the council on their very first project, a school-wide food drive to support Friends Indeed Food Pantry in Pasadena. And wow, did our Vikings truly rise to the occasion. Together, our students donated over 2,500 items. It was an inspiring display of kindness, teamwork, school spirit that made our whole Valentine community proud. In March, it was filled with celebration and connection. Our Valentine homecoming parent party at the University Club of Pasadena was a night to remember, so much fun that the staff had to gently nudge us out at the end. The evening raised important funds for our school while bringing our community closer together. And then we ended the month with the spring music program by our talented 3rd through 5th grades, a touching start to saying farewell to our 5th grade class. In March and April, the Valentine PTA proudly launched 2 new programs, Proud to be Me and Multicultural Night. Proud to be Me aimed to build awareness and compassion around disabilities and differences, and themed literature during library time and multi-sensory stations during grade level PE. Multicultural Night invited families to celebrate their heritage through interactive displays, vibrant presentations, and hands-on activities that brought their cultures to life. From traditional foods and music to art, clothing, and stories, showcasing the incredible diversity within our school community. As we wrapped up the year, we celebrated innovation with the Valentine Engineering Fair, the Great Expedition. Students collaborated to design and build devices to safely land an egg, a fun and educational challenge. We also held our Staff Appreciation Week and our cherished May Day celebration, where we honored our amazing volunteers with Heart of Gold Awards. If that wasn't enough, we just concluded our annual jogathon. Together, our Vikings ran 604 miles or 7,900 laps. None of these PTA events would have been made possible without the continued dedication and volunteerism of Valentine parents. This year, we clocked in over 47,000 volunteer hours. But the generosity does not stop there. Thanks to our successful fundraising efforts, we are able to continue to provide vital resources and programs to our students in the upcoming 2024-25 year. We will continue to offer PTA's wide range of enrichment events and programs, in addition to music classes and the 5th grade band and orchestra program, the gateway to the music program at HMS. Every year, every class will benefit from 3 dedicated STEM sessions throughout the school year. And our classes will continue to benefit from the PTA-sponsored field trips for both on and off campus. Additionally, we will continue to allocate funds to support our health clerk, our 3 noontime aides for lunch, and 1 part-time librarian on campus. And we continue to invest in essential technology upgrades for our Valentine staff, including new portable sound system for our PE department. I would also like to take a moment to express my heartfelt gratitude to Principal McAlpine for her commitment to excellence that has shaped a positive and productive learning environment for our students and staff. It has been a privilege to work with her, and it is my pleasure and honor to continue serving for 1 more year as the PTA president of Valentine Elementary, and I cannot wait after the summer when I get a break to see what our incredible Valentine community will be able to achieve in the year ahead. Thank you.
So is that incoming president want to say something? Or-
Like, oh, no.
Okay.
They have to officially change seats.
Yes.
All right. So, Kim, you get to change seats with yourself. And walk circle and Marissa too.
By the way,
Oh, yeah, you want to take a picture? Yeah, of course.
on behalf of Board of Education and the San Marino Unified School District, I'd like to salute each of you, outgoing president or incoming president. You know, this the San Marino small city and small community because the PTA workforce that make this community very special. You know, I've been 24 years and I see all the time, you know, once a year, see you guys changing, but you guys continue to support. I cannot imagine without the PTA how the San Marino can be better and better. So I'd like to just say many thanks to each of you.
Sure. Take a picture with him?
We would love to.
Okay, so we're gonna take another picture, kind of take it back tonight. With all of you guys up here.
Then you can run out of. Yeah, and they're gonna just up here, run for the hills.
Can you still have one?
When did it start? There's already 8 weeks ago. Just say that. But down no one knows how to sew.
Right?
No, you guys.
No, you guys.
Linda,
chat. Okay.
All right, 1, 2, 3. One more, 1, 2, 3.
They don't have to stay, you know that, right? They don't have to stay.
They don't have to stay.
The next agenda is very good.
See your kids.
You should stay and listen to the rest of the meeting.
So you guys do not have to stay.
Yeah.
Go home and see
It's
your
been a long day
family.
for all of you. If you would like to go, you are more than welcome to.
Yeah.
Either way.
Okay, next 11C 2024 to 20. Yeah.
Sorry, thank you.
11C 2024 to 25 college acceptance presentation.
Dr. Wolf.
Dr. Wolf.
You're here already, why not? Yeah, might as well just stay.
If you stay long enough, everybody will be asleep when we get.
Sounds like the voice of experience.
All right, thank you, President Chang, members of the board, Dr. Delatorre and cabinet. Before I begin my presentation, I wanted to say something too about the Student Advisory Council students that spoke. 30 years ago, I left a career as an assistant city manager to become a teacher and then a principal, obviously. And I did that mostly in poor, underserved communities on purpose. And I have to say, when you all hired me 2 years ago, I had some second thoughts about am I going to make a difference in a community like this where students are just successful anyway? And hearing those kids totally reaffirmed why I wanted to come here. And it was just amazing to hear them, to know that those kids are going to go out and become leaders in our country and have a much larger effect on our society than any one individual school that any of us could work in. And so that was amazing. So thank you, Dr. Delatorre, for creating that and bringing those kids here. And of course, this evening's presentation, I'm thrilled. This is the second year I've gotten to do this. And as great as our numbers were last year, they are better this year. And so this is just a summary, but I did send Dr. Delatorre already a much more complete list of schools that students applied to, got accepted to, waitlisted to, et cetera. So I'm sure she can share with you the detailed spreadsheet. I'm just going to give you an overview. Okay. I won't read every one of these. I want to talk about kind of the larger actions that our counseling department has taken that I believe have directly led to the success that we've had the last couple of years. And really the biggest one is the work on essays. So I can tell you that in my 20 years as a principal, I've spoken to countless college recruiters. And every time I've always heard the same things. In fact, a very, very close friend of mine is a current recruiter for Georgetown. And I just met with her this year to kind of get her insights on what they were looking for. And they actually, Georgetown still interviews students. And so there was a lot of good insights, but she didn't tell me anything that we haven't really known already in the last couple of decades. That grades are becoming meaningless, that millions of kids have 4.5 GPAs because of the grade inflations that advanced placement has brought, that there's no shock that wealthy communities with students with high GPAs exist. And so they can't use that as a determination for getting into college. They have to look for other things. And what schools are looking for is that thing that stands out in a student that makes them different. And that's all encompassed in the essay. Unless they get a school like Georgetown that is still doing interviews, the essay is the only opportunity a student has to present their case for why they should stand out and be accepted at that university. And far too often, students don't have the experiences necessary in order to write an essay like that. And so it's our job to help give them those experiences. And one of those ways is through the workshops that our counselors do and the outside people that we bring in do. And those are all wonderful because we can tell students exactly what I'm telling you now, but you can't make up experiences for students. And so that's why I'm really happy to say that after 2 years of talking to a lot of people about this, next year we are going to offer an alternative community service opportunity for students. We're not taking away the original, although I am increasing the hours so that the alternative is more palatable for students. But they can gain their community service through a shorter number of hours, but those hours all have to be at one place, working on one project that makes a difference in people's lives. Far too often, the community service hours that our students doing are things that help us out, so we bribe them, like working at the Huntington Breakfast or helping a teacher with an event on campus. And those things are super valuable, but not in a college essay. We want them to go and make a difference in somebody's lives or in a community, out in a community, actually accomplishing something, starting a business, helping a charity, et cetera, doing their entire project with one group of people. So they will have that option starting next year. And we're hoping that that will even help our students even more be able to write about some unique experiences. Okay, so last year our UC attending rate was pretty good. It's about the same right now. So the percentage of our students that actually end up attending one of the UC campuses is about 22%. Our attending rate for private California colleges has gone up a little bit. And I should state that I don't have 3 columns on here because we'd be doing that every year. It'd get harder to read, but all of the 2024 numbers were larger than 2023. and most of the 2025 numbers have gone up again. The attending rate of privates from outside of California dipped a little, but that's because you can see how much more popular some of the out of California public schools have become. And you can see the increase in students who have decided to attend schools like Ohio State or the University of Miami, public schools outside of California, has gone up quite a bit. And our community college percentage has stayed the same roughly. It's gone up 1%. We also know from interviewing these students that 100% of those 20% intend on transferring to a four-year college when they're done with their two-year degree. Okay, now you can see some really dramatic differences. Our acceptance rates at the UCs that's incredible. It doesn't mean that every one of those students decided to attend, but for our students who did apply to a UC campus, the percentage of them who are getting accepted is quite high. Also, the acceptance rate at California private schools has gone up again quite a bit this year. And the acceptance rate of outside of California private schools. And then as you saw, so many of our students attending outside public schools outside of California, not only have their acceptances gone up, but the attending is going up in those. So really, really big, dramatic, wonderful increases. And all that this means is, because all of our students got accepted into wonderful schools last year, this just means they had more choices this year, that they got accepted into more of the schools they applied to and were able to make a choice. So you can see pure numbers there for students who applied to UC and all of our other categories. Again, this is fantastic. More students are applying to more schools and having more choices. So there's the UC acceptance rate at all the UC campuses. And you can see, as you heard tonight, we have a lot of students going to Berkeley next year. And our acceptance rate to Berkeley is almost double the UC average for the entire country. So we are going to be represented in Berkeley really well next year. And then you can see all the other various colleges in the UC system there. And there's so many different reasons why some schools are higher than others. But they are interesting numbers to look at. But you can see for most of these schools, we're well ahead of the UC acceptance rate for those campuses. All right, and then here is some of the highlights of the universities that our students were accepted into this year. So last year we had a really high number of acceptances and attending for the Ivy League. This year we had one fewer acceptances, but one more student who's attending. And then we actually, when we see the service academies later on, which many people will put up there in prestige with Ivies, we actually had even one more student who was accepted but has made a different choice. So we've had a lot of students this year going to the nation's top universities. All right, and then here's a collage of all of our various colleges that had kind of the largest numbers for applications, acceptances, attending. So Stanford, we have 2 students attending next year. Syracuse, we have 2, so both those universities went up. Notre Dame, sorry, that was just for Mrs. Ryan, but and I don't know how it got on the same page with USC. Just that's got to be a mistake. And of course, we have 6 students, including Ben, who spoke earlier. You know, really smart kid, obviously, because he's picked USC.
Happy son.
All right. Michigan, Berkeley, obviously you can see really high, and we had 6 last year. We have 11 this year. UCLA, I'm not sure why that's on here, but no, UCLA, obviously the interesting thing about UCLA is it's got to be the best bargain for one of the best universities in the world. The academic program at UCLA is really one of the best in the country. And then to only have to pay really an amazingly cheap still UC rate. So it's become extremely difficult to get into UCLA. So I'm really happy that we have the same number of students this year. And we had more acceptances, which again just shows you, if we had 13 acceptances and the attending stayed the same, that means a bunch of students had other really great choices that they decided to go with. Tufts, really interesting that we have California kids that apply to Tufts. Penn State, same as last year, but again, way more acceptances. But we do have a student attending Penn State. Ohio State was the same number of acceptances last year. Hopefully, the reason why nobody's attending Ohio State is all those students went to USC. All right, Northeastern, another very prestigious university that a lot of times students don't think about until they start hearing presentations from some of our the visitors that come on our campus. But 17 acceptances this year. Fewer decided to go, but again, more acceptances, which again shows you how many choices that a lot of these students had. NYU, another amazing school, another amazing experience to go to school in New York City. And again, our acceptances were up. Purdue, I always find interesting that we have so many students that apply to Purdue. And again, our acceptances are up this year for Purdue. And Caltech, we don't have any students that are attending Caltech this year, but we do have students that apply, and we always want to put that on there because of our program with Caltech. Duke, again, a lot of applications. It'd be interesting to hear from somebody at Duke to see if they're looking for something different, because we have had a lot of applications and no acceptances, and only one last year. So I'd love to make a connection with Duke if anybody knows anybody that is in North Carolina. And then Wellesley, another very prestigious school, and we had one acceptance and one student attending this year. MIT, awesome that we do have a student attending MIT this year. And then the military academies, 3 acceptances, which is really phenomenal for a school as small as San Marino High School to have 3 students that not only had to go through getting accepted through the rigor, but the application process and having having somebody like a U.S. Senator support your application. It's a lot of work, and to have 3 people accepted and 2 are attending. And I have to say, the one student who has chosen not to is taking a full ROTC scholarship at Yale. Okay, so I think we could probably forgive her for not attending West Point. Okay, and she's still going to become a second lieutenant when she graduates college, and will also have the Yale name on her resume when she goes out into her career after the military. And that's it for my report. Thank you very much.
Any question?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for Dr. Wolf. Okay. Next 11D, first reading of board policy 6173, education for homeless children. I would like to turn it over to Dr. Lina Richter for a first reading of board policy 6173, education for homeless children.
Thank you, President Chang, members of the board, student board member Ta, last meeting together. Superintendent Dr. Delatorre and executive cabinet. Presented to you tonight is the first read for board policy 6173, the education for homeless children. This update is in compliance with CSBA, the California School Board Association, and GAMIT, and directly aligns with SMUSD's administrative regulations for AR 6173. Salient updates to board policy 6173 include the addition of goals and actions in the LCAP specific to improving student outcomes for districts that have identified and enrolled 15 or more homeless children, a regular review of the homeless policies by the superintendent or designee to ensure removal of any barriers that result from including but not limited to absences, retention, or any type of outstanding fee. A designated homeless liaison for homeless children, identification of homeless students, and pursuant to Ed Code, administration of an annual housing questionnaire
questionnaire for easy and ample identification, homeless liaison contact information and other pertinent information as required by Ed Code posted on our district website, information and materials for homeless students provided in an understandable manner and in a language that is appropriate to each student and family, annual professional development for the district liaison and related staff, and lastly, annual reporting of homeless students to the CDE and the Board of Education. I want to just quickly mention that these updates are already in place. Staff is recommending that the board update the policy to include these updates and remain compliant. This is the first read that's being presented to the board for review, and staff will be bringing this item back to the board with a recommendation for adoption at the next regularly scheduled board meeting.
Any question? I have a question. So, what's the definition of homeless children?
So according to the McKinney-Vento Act, which is a federal law, their definition is students who lack a fixed or regular and adequate nighttime resident. So a place where a student doesn't have permanent, a student who does not have a permanent place to rest their head at night.
Okay.
So like they might be on a couch, they might be at grandparents, maybe living with an aunt or living with another family.
A hotel,
Yeah,
in
mhm.
a car, they may be doubled up with a family member. Yes, they don't have a permanent housing situation.
You said a hotel, you mean within in San Marino?
Yes, but we don't
Really
have
has-
any in San Marino. We
Yeah,
don't have
we
any
don't.
hotels or motels in
Yeah,
San Marino.
so mean
But that is the federal definition of a homeless student.
so mean for those children, if they stay in the motel outside of a school district, we still accept.
No, because that hotel or motel is not within our school district boundaries. It would have to be within our boundaries.
Okay. Any more questions?
How many have we determined that we have now?
So this requires 15 or more to be included in the LCAP. We currently have 12.
Students who are doubled up with other families, similar to what happened during the fires, are covered under McKinney-Vento and considered.
So,
for that purpose.
okay, so 3 more students would trigger this, but then we have to hire a homeless liaison?
That would be me and Miss Claudia Velasquez.
I was gonna say, could somebody else, okay.
Yes,
okay,
yes,
so-
we oversee that.
Designation.
Okay,
Absolutely.
okay, wonderful.
Yes, and as Dr. Delatory mentioned, a few of those are the result of the families that have been impacted by the fire.
Understandable. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, this first reading, no action, okay? Let's go to the 12 action item A, approve of San Marino Unified School District Sunshine Proposal with the San Marino Teacher Association. Dr. Jensen Rose.
All right, thank you, President Chang, Board of Education, Superintendent Dr. Delatory, Executive Cabinet, and Student Board Member Ta. As the board recalls, last board meeting, we held a public hearing for the district's 2025-2026 District Sunshine Proposal for contract negotiations between the San Marino Unified School District, the San Marino Teachers Association, and the California School Employees Association, CSEA Chapter 120. Copies of the district's Sunshine Proposal for contract negotiations between the San Marino Unified School District and the and the San Marino Teachers Association were made available for the public to review. As shared in the last board meeting, the proposal has been brought back to the Board of Education for approval at tonight's meeting. It is recommended that the board approve the district's 2025-2026 Sunshine Proposal for contract negotiations between the San Marino Unified School District and the San Marino Teachers Association.
Do I have a motion to approve the San Marino Unified School District Sunshine Proposal with the San Marino Teacher Association?
Move to approve 12A.
Second?
Roll call. Mrs. Lam,
Aye.
Mrs. Ryan,
Aye.
Mrs. Gill,
Aye.
Mr. Chen, aye. Ms. Ta,
Aye.
motion carried. Let's go to the 12B, approval of the San Marino Unified School District Sunshine Proposal with the California School Employee Association, CSEA, Chapter number 120. Dr. Jensen Rose.
All right, thank you, President Chang. Likewise, copies of the district sunshine proposal for contract negotiations between the San Marino Unified School District and the California School Employees Association, CSEA Chapter 120, were also made available to the public for review. Once again, as shared in the last board meeting, the proposal has been brought back to the Board of Education for approval at tonight's meeting. And so once again, it is recommended that the board approve the district's 2025-2026 sunshine proposal for contract negotiations between the California School Employees Association, CSEA Chapter 120.
Do I have a motion to approve the San Marino Unified School District Sunshine Proposal with the California School Employee Association, CSEA Chapter number 120?
So moved.
Second?
Second. Roll call, Mrs. Lam,
Aye.
Mrs. Ryan,
Aye.
Mrs. Gill,
Aye.
Mr. Chen, aye, and Ms. Ta.
Aye.
Motion carry. 12C, West San Gabriel Valley Cell Park Community Advisory Council, parent representative. I would like to turn it over to Dr. Lina Richter.
Thank you, President Chang, members of the board, Student Board Member Ta, Superintendent Dr. Delatorre, and Executive Cabinet. The Community Advisory Committee, also known as the CSC, is an advisory committee made up of parents and community members from 14 member school districts. The CAC serves as an advisory board to review and help develop the local plan for special education required under Ed Code Section 56190. The CAC recommends annual priorities to be addressed by the SELPA, which is the Special Education Local Plan Area, encourages community involvement, and assists parents in education, providing support to families with children in special education. Voting members are appointed and approved by the school board of each school district. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the appointment of Mr. Yojang Sun as the parent representatives to the West San Gabriel Valley SELPA Community Advisory Council through the 2027 school year. Mr. Sun is a longtime community member and a parent, as well as a regular CSC member and volunteer.
Move to approve.
Any second?
Second.
Roll call, Mrs. Lam,
Aye.
Mrs. Ryan,
Aye.
Mrs. Gill,
Aye.
Mr. Chen, aye, Ms. Ta.
Aye.
Motion carry.
And thank him for his volunteerism.
Absolutely, thank you.
12D, resolution number 16, authorizing a request to the Los Angeles County Board of Supervisors to establish a tax rate for San Marino Unified School District bond expected to be sold in fiscal year 2025 to 2026, and also authorizing the relating action. I would like to turn it over to the Stephen Choi.
Thank you, President Chang, members of the board, student board member Chloe, and executive team. Item 12D is an action item recommending board approval of Resolution 16, authorizing a request to the LA County Board of Supervisors to establish a tax rate for Measure M bonds anticipated to be sold in fiscal year 25-26, and authorizing necessary actions to estimate debt service and coordinate with county officials to levy the required property tax. We are joined this evening by Mr. Sam Santana of DWK and Kristen Gare from Piper Sandler, who are available to answer any questions. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve this resolution so that the district may proceed with the formal request to the county to ensure timely preparation for the upcoming bond sale.
Any question? Okay, do I have a motion to approve authorizing a request to the?
Oh, I'm sorry, I did have a quick
Okay,
question.
okay. Go
I
ahead.
was just wondering about the amount, the 105 million, what that pertains to, if you wouldn't mind, because it doesn't correlate to the 40 million Dr. Choi talked about?
Yeah, well, it's really late and I was hoping you would miss the typo. That's a typo, should be 200 million. I take responsibility for that. We'll fix it before we submit it.
Okay. Okay, move to approve with the amended amount of 200 million.
Second,
Is that this amended?
That's what you're,
Okay,
The amended amount.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a typo that he's going to fix before it's signed.
Yes.
okay,
Submitted.
good.
I read that earlier and
I know.
I didn't know if we were going to start with 100 first, like we had kind of talked about phasing it out, but.
No, that's the authorization, which is 200 million. The first issuance in the next res is going to be 40.
Okay.
So you're
thank-
right.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay,
Paying attention.
Yeah.
okay, there's a motion and any second?
Second.
Okay, roll call, Mrs. Lam,
Aye.
Mrs. Ryan,
aye.
Mrs. Gill,
Aye.
Mr. Chen, aye, and Ms. Ta.
Aye.
Motion carry. 12E, resolution number 17, authorization to issue and sell up to 40 million in general obligation bond 2024 election, 2025 Series A, and authorizing other document and related action. I would like to turn it over to Stephen Choi.
Thank you, President Chang. Item 12E is an action item requesting approval of Resolution 17. This resolution authorizes the district to proceed with the issuance of the first 40 million in Measure M bonds. To guide this initial issuance, staff created preliminary project budgets informed by the facility's master plan. These early cost models are being incorporated into a comprehensive implementation plan that will define project sequencing, align timelines with bond cash flow, and establish the district's overall delivery strategy. Again, we are joined this evening by Mr. Sam Santana of DWK and Kristen Gare of Piper Sandler, who are available to provide any additional context and respond to any questions. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve Resolution 17 to proceed with the first issuance of Measure M bonds.
Hold on. So since you are here, would you mind maybe summarize those the point before we sign?
Yes.
So we have to pay attention. Yeah.
Yes. I think I feel like we saved the most exciting items for last. So thanks for all your attention to these matters. And obviously Kristen's here for any of the number questions, but essentially this resolution is the first issuance. It's going to authorize the first issuance of the bonds. As we pointed out, $200 million were authorized in November by the voters. And this resolution is authorizing the issuance of $40 million in Series A bonds. And then those bonds are going to be used for the construction program of the district that's going to be run by Dr. Choi and the consultants. It's very straightforward reso. This is approving the issuance, the bond purchase agreement, and related documents that are going to be developed over the coming months and eventually paid for and bought by Piper Sandler as the underwriter for the bonds and then deposited with the county treasurer.
So once tonight we approve, and then you guys will start to find
Yes, that starts the process with developing the issuance documents, moving towards the close. And then on that closing date, the $40 million would be wired to the appropriate accounts.
Do we have an idea how long can get process is
I can't remember the closing date. Do you remember? Early July, so a couple of months to get all the documents drafted, reviewed. We're going to get all the typos out this time and then signed and delivered.
So,
and meet with the credit rating agency, issue the offering statements, etc.
So for the month of July, so Fed rate, there's still uncertainty. So is that's where cause some the big difference or eventually?
Interest rate questions are.
I think it's
we've seen, there is a lot of uncertainty out there. Interest rates move every day, and that's something that we can't control. I think what we have going for us for San Marino Unified is we have a really strong credit rating. And we are getting in with your authorization and your approval of this resolution tonight. I know next step, week after next, is when we're meeting with the credit rating agency with Moody's. That process is where Dr. Choi and potentially Superintendent De La Torre will help present to the rating agency. That process takes a week. So there are some steps that are required in order for us to then enter the market. But we will certainly be keeping a close eye in terms of timing, trying to schedule our sales so we don't have other competing highly rated bond sales around that time. But I think, like I had mentioned before, what we really have going for us is our strong credit rating. We can't necessarily control how interest rates will move and what the Fed will do, but we're going to try to move as quickly as possible to mitigate interest rate risk.
Thank you. Any more question? Okay, if not, do I have a motion to resolution number 17, authorization to issue and sell up to 40 million in general obligation bond?
So moved.
Roll call. Mrs. Lam,
Aye.
Mrs. Ryan,
Aye.
Mrs. Gill,
Aye.
Mr. Chen, aye, and Ms. Ta.
Aye.
Motion carry.
Very exciting.
It is.
Yeah. Okay, 12F, inter-fund transfer of 500,000 from fund 0.01.0 general fund to fund 14.0 deferred maintenance fund. I would like to turn it over to Stephen Choi.
Thank you, President Chang. Item 12F is an action item requesting approval for an interfund transfer of 500,000 from Fund 1.0 General Fund to Fund 14.0 Deferred Maintenance Fund. This transfer is specifically assigned for deferred maintenance projects and supports both current and future planning. It aligns with the district's long-term facility strategy and reinforces our commitment to maintaining safe, functional learning environments without impacting general operating funds. It is recommended that the board approve item 12F.
Do I have a motion to approve the inter-fund transfer of 500,000 from Fund 0.10 General Fund to the Fund 14.0 Deferred Maintenance Fund?
Motion to approve.
Any second?
Second.
Joanna, second.
Okay, roll call, Mrs. Lam,
Aye.
Mrs. Ryan,
Aye.
Mrs. Gill,
Aye.
Mr. Chen, aye, and Ms. Ta.
Aye.
Motion carry. G, inter-fund transfer of 2,281 from the Fund 0.01.0 General Fund to Fund 17.0 Health and Welfare Reserve Fund. Stephen Choi.
Thank you, President Chang. Item 12G is an action item requesting approval of interfund transfer of $2,281 from Fund 1 General to Fund 17, the Health and Welfare Reserve Fund. This budget adjustment is due to health insurance rebates received by the district and ensures proper allocation of these funds to support future health and welfare obligations in alignment with the district's reserve planning strategy. It is recommended that the board approve item 12G.
Can I have a motion?
Move to approve?
Any second?
Second.
Roll call, Mrs. Lam,
Aye.
Mrs. Ryan,
Aye.
Mrs. Gill,
Aye.
Mr. Chen, aye, and Ms. Ta.
Aye.
Motion carry. 13, Board Superintendent discussion item. Okay. If not, then the meeting adjourned.